Hello. Think about this right here. Okay, they name everything. It's a sycamore tree. This park. I'm getting ready to go to the campsite here. I'm going to go from campsite to campsite when I leave here. And I was looking it up. The Kings River. I'm going to go along the Kings River. Start off from there. Where they own this whole fucking place, the whole world. So you got to look up everywhere you go, and they know exactly. It's all, you got to get a map, and then they know where every place is at. So there's nothing new under the sun. But yeah, so they tell me how beautiful it's been. I've been there before when I used to go fishing with my brother. I don't fish anymore. I'm vegan, and I don't kill animals and abuse animals anymore, and you shouldn't either. That's what's fucking this whole world up. And so anyways, next they not anyways, but another subject is they say, oh, there's nice sycamore trees there, and I remember there being some beautiful trees there, some sycamore trees and some ash trees, who are you to name the trees? Just think about everything. Think about this. You need to open your mind up and fucking think right now. Who the fuck is to tell us what the name of anything is, or the name of a tree is? A sycamore tree. Oh, these are sycamore trees, and this is everything they've labeled. Anything that you see around you is guys they created a language and gave it a name to everything. Who are these people? They came here before you. How come you didn't have a say so in anything? How come you haven't had a say so in anything ever? You need to think about that shit. That's what flat Earth is about. That they're lying to you about being on a spinning ball in the shape of your Earth, and they're lying to you about everything. But start with that right there. How come you don't get to name anything? How come you didn't get a say so in naming the trees? And I don't want anything named at all. I don't want it to be called the sycamore tree. I don't want trees or anything to have any names at all. Who are you to who are they to name anything? Who are they to put laws to anything and tell us what anything is? What was here before I was here? You see what I'm saying? What was here before you were here? What was going on before you were born? You need to ask that, you stupid fucking idiots. That's what the fuck you need to really fucking think of. And don't let these trolls on YouTube or anybody in this world sway you on that. That's why you're not swaying me on this channel. I keep it right on the dialed on the hot truth, baby. And I know exactly what the fuck you assholes are up to. Exactly what they're up to. They felled the big trees, took all the big trees down. Don't you forget about the big trees that they took down. This place used to be a huge forest, and you just went from tree to tree, and you didn't speak to anybody. You didn't have to. You didn't have to do anything except you didn't have to answer to anybody. Okay? Now you have to answer to them. Every move you do, you have to answer to them. Everything. So, and they named everything. They got there first. Remember, they got to the victor goes the spoils. They got there first. So imagine if you got there first to the top, to the land. You found this place first, and you were here first. What would you do? What would you do if you got here first? And you were like, oh shit, I'm here first. Nobody else has seen this ever. And you knew that you could take over if you took all the trees down and made this place look different and fooled everybody who was born next. The next generation coming in, when they were born, they wouldn't have a clue what was here before they were here. That's how they got you. You know, and so when that person is born, the next generation is born, you can rename everything. You can name everything. You control everything. So you control the whole reality. You can say this is called this and this is called this, and I'm God. That's why they think they're God. These guys think they're gods. They created everything because they created everything because they got here first. Just because they got here first, okay? That's what happened. They got here first and they took all the trees down and devastated everything and controlled everything on every level. And this left you with scraps. But you got to see and look around you and go, how come you haven't had a say so in anything? How come you don't know what's really going on? How come you didn't get to name trees and to name things and be involved in those processes of naming things and creating this world? Because you are not part of this world. They own you. They were here before you, and they lied to you about everything. And that's what I'm here to expose. And that's what I'm going to go do in the world. I'm going to take off from here and go tell everybody about this. Everybody. That's going to be my mission in life. And everywhere I go, people are going to help me. Even today, I took off And I took off, and some guy asked me if I wanted some help from the city. He said, "Did you need anything?" And they were a service ride. You know what I mean? Just I'm telling you that people care about each other out there. It's just it's hidden. The caring that we used to feel for each other and that we're supposed to feel is suppressed and hidden. They don't want that to show. They don't want you to just be like, you know, love your neighbor. They want you to, everybody to be afraid of each other. And I was afraid that there were guy was going to hassle me, and he didn't hassle me. He thought I was homeless out there, and he wanted to help me, but I was scared that he wanted to hurt me, and so I was like, or sell me drugs or something. I was like, no, I don't want anything. But, he said, you want anything? I thought he meant drugs, and then when he drove away, his truck was really nice, and it said service vehicle for service rides, and they would give, and I was like, oh shit, that's nice that the people run around doing that, and nice vehicles helping people that need help. He said, you need anything? So people are there to help you, and I've been learning what I'm going to do on my own here, because I can't take this stress from all this matrix, and the system's going to kill me. Sitting in this apartment and just doing exactly what they say to do is going to put me in the grave real quick here, and I'm not going to let it. And so that's why I'm doing being in captivity. You're in captivity right now, which means you're held captive. But people live long lives in captivity still too. They can, but that's not. So some people live. But how long would you live if you were not in captivity and you still had everything you needed? So you had everything you needed, and you didn't have all the poisons and all that stuff, and the things that captivity does to you to kill you. Sitting around in captivity is going to kill you. But if you're homeless on the street and you're being abused and you're abusing yourself, taking drugs and hurting yourself, it's you who hurt yourself. It's how good you take care of yourself. But this world's still set up against us because they got here first. They got to name everything. They got to name the trees. They got to name the campsites that I'm going to go to. They got to name the apartments that I'm at. They get to control every move that's going on in this world. And we can't go past the North Pole. We can't go outside of a certain perimeter. They're going to say, you got to turn around and go back into your zone here, bud. You're back with the rest of the herd. The herd. They keep the herd like cattle. Man, they keep the herd all in there. You can't go out past a certain point, like the movie Logan's Run. You can't go out that perimeter, or they call you a runner. You're called a runner. That's what the movie Logan's Run was about in the 70s. If you run out of the side of a certain point, they're going to come and get you, and suck you back in. So if you got outside of a certain point, they called you a runner. That's what Logan's Run was. I'm a runner. I'm not going to run. We need to take back our world. We need freedom. So we need to stand up and take back their world, even the land that they've destroyed here. There was a tree of life there's a tree of life at the North Pole, which was the biggest tree ever. Okay, and we came from that tree. And that's why we're not far from that tree all the time. That's why the sun came out of that tree. When they chopped that tree down, the sun used to be inside of that tree, and the sun powered the whole world from that tree. It's from that big world tree. It went from that tree, from the North Pole. It powered all trees out by the root system. From the root system, from the tree of life, it came out and powered all the roots of the other trees connected together, like in the movie Avatar explains it. And they all talk to each other. All of the roots talk to each other, and everything talked to each other, and everything was all connected like a big internet. It was the internet, and it was our internet now, and it was our lifeline. It was our lifeline, our spirits, and our lives, and our livelihood, and our trees, or the fruits from those trees, which kept us alive. You know what I mean? And everything those trees had was inside that. And then when they chopped the biggest tree down at the North Pole, the sun came out of that tree, and now it runs around and charges us that way. But that's not the way it was originally. The sun was inside the tree, and then the sun comes around, and it's 33 miles in diameter, our sun. And it comes around, and it's about 20 miles above us, and then it comes around the North Pole and goes and it's what's called the black hole sun. There, and that one's supposed to be about 80 miles wide, and then like a parabolic mirror, it showers off and creates your aurora borealis lights, like a parabolic mirror, and just showers down on you all of your intent, and that's what I did with blood over intent, with quasi-luminous, and all that stuff. He's right. Quasi-luminous is right, and about the black sun and how it showers our intent over us. And once they cut those trees down, at the North Pole, it took all of that energy away from the whole world. It decharged the whole world. That's why you're sitting in a world now that's dead. It doesn't have a web of energy coming out from that tree to the rest of the trees that used to be here. And they all talk to each other. The trees would talk to each other, and we didn't have, we didn't have the sun or none of that stuff. The sun powered from the North Pole, everything from that point. It didn't have it, and now it would just power from the tree. The tree powered everything from the North Pole. So that's why we need to get back to the North Pole still. But it's that once we get there, at the North Pole, you're going to go through an exit hole. You're going to hit up a porthole, a portal at the North Pole. There's a portal or something going on there that we're supposed to go into. A whirlpool. I heard there's a whirlpool. That's why once you get there, you have to vibrate at a certain point, and you have to go vegan and get yourself prepared spiritually, because you're not going to get McDonald's there. That's why my friends say, "Oh, there's no McDonald's there. People aren't going to want to go." No, you're not. There is none of that there. But you need to get to whatever's there, because it's what you need spiritually to see who you are and find out who you are, and that used to be the tree that we came from, and that's why we don't go far from it, Still now to this day, the sun goes around about 3,000 miles from it, and we're all in that same perimeter, and we're all near the home tree still, because you can't live far from it, you'll die. So that's what I figured out. You know what I mean? So that's the truth. That's what's so amazing about this place, is that there's a home tree at the North Pole that we used to come from, and we used to all hang out at, and you don't venture far from it, because that's the tree that we stayed at, like the Tree of Souls and Avatar, the same thing. The biggest tree. It was the biggest tree, and so we used to hang out there, and it did everything we needed right there. The sun and everything would charge from there, and and it would charge everything else coming out to the rest of the big trees out here. And so without that, the energy's wrong here, and we get sick, and we're not well. The whole world's disconnected and doesn't have the proper energy. Everything's messed up, and that's why they've renamed everything, and they've got control of everything. The names of the trees, and I want that's why you need to look around your world, and so we need to get back to the North Pole and get into an exit hole there, to a place, and you can go back to those trees. Once you go through a porthole there, and you go through, and in there, you can go back to the trees, and that they can't get there either. There's something there that you can't turn back, and once you go through there, you're back into the land of the trees again, And the Smoky God talks about it. The book, The Smoky God, and Dutch Harbor, Alaska. That's where I'm going. I'm going to Dutch Harbor, or North Pole, Alaska, and I'm going to take off from there. And scuba dive if I have to. I don't know, whatever I have to see what's there at the Aurora Borealis and beyond. I have to go beyond. Hyperborea means beyond Borea, beyond it. You're going beyond Borea. So that's why we need to all do that and see what's there. Even no matter what it takes, we have to see that in our lifetimes. That's what we're here for. That's the end of the game. Like Jumanji explains, every game does. When you get to the end of Jumanji, that's green. And Jumanji, the game, explains it too. And they have that little code, and then it says, the hidden messages talking about when you get there, there's something there. And every game talks about it. Everything has it in it. The green in the center, the Jumanji, Shangri-La by the ICP, the group ICP. Insane Clown Posse. They made a game called Shangri-La, the quest for Shangri-La. Because they know once you get to the center of the North Pole, that's Shangri-La, and there's something there that we all need to see. David Bowie talks about it in his song, about the black sun and that the flame in the center, and he talks about that, in his last song that he wrote, before he so-called passed away. He's still alive. They just took him out of the world stage, like they did Prince and everybody. They're still alive. Everybody's still alive. All these actors are still alive, but they know that the flat Earth, at the North Pole, there's something there that we all need to see. There's a eternal flame there that we need to see and join, and all of us need to get there. Even like the movie Sausage Party, where everybody was going into the big thing, and they were all in wheelchairs, and still, no matter how screwed up you were, you needed to still go through the green, to Jumanji. You need to go through the green light to get fixed up and reborn and recharged, lifesaver. That's what happens. You get reborn and a new life. Living waters are at Mount Meru. We all need to get to the North Pole. Come with me as free people. I love you all.